Hello everyone, and welcome to the ASMR review show. There is finally news about Elden Ring today. Why? Because we are here to get into the shadows of the Erdtree DLC. It's finally time, after all this waiting, 2.5 years of it approximately. If I recall correctly, man, it feels like February 2022 was just recently, but in any case, let's get going in there. We are going to be fighting every boss in the Shadows of the Erdtree DLC, and yeah, this is my character we're doing for that. Her name is Eivor. That's Eivor after the singer from the Faroe Islands who does like the soundtrack for The Last Kingdom. My wife really loves her, and I thought it would be funny to make a really awesome, badass blonde character, so I did. And I wanted to go in with a strength build, but it's kind of strength with a bit of faith, so I guess a paladin build. And I'm level 125 at the start of this video, and later on I level up to 150 because this DLC was really kicking my ass, as it has for most people, and I'm rocking the Maliketh's armor with the altered bit to not have the cape. And here we go, Gravesite Plain. Gorgeous view ahead. Indeed. Yeah. So let's just get on in there. We got a lot of bosses to go through. I did not know if I would get enough mileage, but I have 2 hours of footage, so I think we're plenty covered. And of course, I still have not taken off my the physic with the tier for fighting Mohg, because I was helping people fight Mohg leading up to the DLC. So here we go. This is the first guy most of us probably encountered, the Blackgoal Knight. He is good old strength tank builds, so I can respect that because that's what I did. And I think, like many of us, we got immediately humbled by this dude. It's not like he's got a difficult moveset. He just kind of shows you, oh, maybe we do need some of those, what do you call them? The skadoosh fragments, the Scooby-Doo snacks. Yeah. So, yeah, he's basically meant to show you that this DLC ain't screwing around when it comes to damage output. It's not like he's got a super complex moveset, he's just got the auto-fire crossbow, and a pretty sweet set of fashion. I'm definitely stealing this armor for later in the video. And he had a great sword, which is pretty cool, but I never actually ended up using it, though it would fit well into this build. Again, I think at the time of the level 125, I was about 55 vigor, usually around 23 or 24 mind, so I can still summon all the summons. I think I needed about 24 endurance for that, and I worked my way up to 60 strength at a point. Dex, I had about 20 or so, maybe about 18. So that one thing I would do is use some of the stat boosting talismans to make it to the proper level. And faith, I started going in about 20 or so also. That was the main set of the build. But yeah, that's one guy down. I found the trick is to definitely use a weapon that can stagger him. And of course, coming hot off that, we have the sort of first legacy dungeon of the area, this is the Bellurat settlement. But it's interesting because I feel like this guy, this Chinese dragon looking guy, the divine dancing lion, is it? That he's also here to be like the Morgott equivalent, or Market equivalent, in that maybe I need to come back here later. So while I definitely unlocked this cutscene pretty early, I definitely came back to do the fight a little bit later. yeah, this guy was really kicking my ass. It's a very fun fight when you get the hang of it, but I do feel he is a good representation of some of the issues I have with some DLC bosses here. And that is, he definitely has a lot of attacks where it's hard to read what he's doing. He can be a bit of a camera beast. And the damage output's pretty crazy. And he has some combos that go on a lot. It's almost kind of humbling to go back and fight some of the regular game bosses and realize, you know what, I don't think Malenia was actually that bad. Now that I think about it, at least she gives you time to heal. Whereas so many bosses here are like, you know, when do I get to attack? Well, that's the neat part, you don't. So what I went for, my strategy with this one, was to go with, again, the Greatsword, the Guts Greatsword, as some people like to refer to it as, because it looks like Guts' sword from Berserk. And I used a Cragblade on it, because more stagger potential, right? Just full-on strength, like a beast. Also, I think when he spins, you can actually jump that attack. I realized that this DLC really leans into the idea of being able to jump and dodge certain attacks. So, yeah, this was definitely not my best performance, but it's okay, because I still have health. And, oh, got saved my ass there again, right? Yeah, this guy, what is he? He's like the Avatar, right? He's the last airbender, because he can do all the different elements. I remember definitely thinking this fight was like crazy, insane, impossible. Like, how am I going to do this? Well, with a lot of healing and flasks, managed to do it, eventually. But again, I don't know if I actually got good at this fight, or was it that I just simply reduced his health to 0 before he reduced my health to 0? I don't know. But in any case, that's my last heal, so we're going all in it from now, you know. Yeah, he's meant to be like one of the guardians of the tower, because this is like the realm of the Horn Scent, and they were like being attacked by Messmer, and he actually fought on Queen Marigga's behalf because she hated the Horn Scent, because they were the ones that tortured her people, the shamans, the Numians, and or the Numans, and stuffed them into jars, you know, in hopes of reaching sainthood. But there we go, lucky stagger, and that's the Divine Beast down. And we have his head, which is ridiculous. But we'll have to come back here a lot later. So, moving on, next guy I found, I'm going to try to do this in the order I fought them, is a Ghostflame Dragon. So here, of course, me trying to use Radahn's Reign, because I'm told that this thing melts large bosses, and doesn't really, I don't know if it does. And this is where I kind of was like, okay, well, he's an undead creature, so holy damage is probably pretty good, right? And I brought out the trusty old rusted axe again, or the rusted anchor. Always a good one, you know. And this is where I started realizing that things are a little different, because this guy's got some AoEs added to his foot stomps. And no, stop gesturing, try to heal instead. Yeah. So later on I realized the trick was the good old Sacred Blade. Is it Ash of War? Sacred Order? What do you call it? The one where you just like shoot out a beam of light. And okay, that was a bit of a questionable hitbox, just saying. So yeah, some of these dragon fights are going to take a little while, because at this point in the game they're quite tanky and they do a lot of damage. which is funny because these dragon fights are ones I thought I had mastered, but they've added like one or two slightly different attacks for them. And then the fact that I wasn't really getting the message with the holy attack, right? Once I switched to talismans to boost holy damage and started using that Sacred Order Ash, that's when it was like, okay, now I got this. But still, I think it was good of them to like switch up the attacks just a little bit, you know. Oop, you gotta dodge backwards on that one. And I definitely picked not the best weapon for this because it's a much shorter range, you know. That is, I guess, my one big complaint about Elden Ring. Oh, that's an AoE. And he got me. I guess, yeah, what I was thinking was, with how much I love Elden Ring, I thought, am I going to be able to say I like it more than Bloodborne, which is my favorite of the FromSoft Souls-like games? And I'm still undecided on that, because, well, for one, we'll see what comes out in terms of balancing. That is the nice thing about games, is they can be easily balanced and patched with like the flick of a button or a quick adjusting of the sliders. And I know there's actually a patch about to go live right now as I'm recording this, so once I've stopped, I'm going to go see what they did. You know, maybe they nerfed the final boss. In that case, I beat him pre-nerf, yeah! Because I actually never got to fight original pre-nerf Radahn. It was a thing that was like so legendarily talked up and hyped about how he was one of the craziest difficult bosses there ever was. And it was like a day before I got to being ready to fight him that they nerfed him. And then they unnerfed him a bit. They realized they nerfed him too hard. I think he's in a good difficulty right now, but I guess some people wanted the craziness, but that's also probably because in the early days of Elden Ring, we thought like level 50 was like the highest level you needed to go, and that you weren't allowed to use any summons because how dare you use a mechanic in the game. Yeah, so that's the thing. I do feel like they really leaned a little too heavily into some of that in Elden Ring, and it's because the bosses in this game are kind of like, if you go in with like the right build and the right equipment, you can just absolutely steamroll certain bosses. Like, again, I'm doing another playthrough of the DLC right now with my Darth Maul character, and I think I beat this dragon in about 1 minute just using the Sacred Blade and a holy damage boosting physic. Whereas you say here, he's taken me like several minutes. So Elden Ring feels like you need to use certain builds for certain bosses, but also it gives you the more tools to be able to switch your build on the fly, so it does balance it in that way. But then Bloodborne was just more like you could basically beat that game with any weapon, any playstyle, and it made sense, and you didn't have to be a pro. Like, don't get me wrong, I know there's some people who have beaten this game rune level 1, not getting hit, and using a USB steering wheel, but those are the crazy, insane people. I am one of the normal people, okay? I don't have it in me to do that kind of crazy challenge. I would like to think that my skill in this game is of a good, you know, baseline level. So anyway, here we have the Chief Bloodfiend, and these guys are a whole bunch of Moog worshippers. You know, they all hang out in blood, and they're doing their own fake blood boon ritual, making offerings to the Formless Mother. And this is a big chonky boy out of them. And I'm actually kind of embarrassed to show this fight because I've used like half my health just running away. And I guess it's because no matter how many times I play these games, especially with Elden Ring, I kind of get sort of locked in the mentality of you need to stay back from the boss and run in and do jump attacks. And then this is where I realized, oh no, this guy's like old school. Like the best attack is to be up and smacking the booty, you know? Good old Souls rule. Stay close, circle around, dodge when appropriate, smack the booty. Very old school, so I like that. This guy was an entertaining fight. And of course I was using the Great Katana, which might not have had the best stats for, but still, like, big sword, right? Okay, hear me out. Blonde lady with cool armor and big sword. Seems like a winning combo for me. So yeah, I thought that this was a pretty cool set of caves to find, and it was a very spooky bit seeing this weird, like, Moog Formless Mother worshipping ritual going on. Kind of annoying that the boss is basically just a bigger version of the regular enemies I fought outside the gate. But hey, we only have to fight him as a boss once, so that's not too bad. And I think it's also cool that he clearly has the Lord of Blood's talisman, because he gets a buff when you bleed him. So, yeah, overall a fun fight once I realized, you know, how to properly do it. And we get him as an Ashe, so that's cool. But I tried not to use the Ashes as much as possible. Not like it was some point of pride, it's because this playthrough that I was a part of, right, it's gonna be featured in my my other video where we do every boss, like main game and DLC together. But for that, I'm not going to like do duplicate bosses, right? Otherwise, that video is gonna be like 10 hours long. So what we're gonna do is, yeah, that I had a level 125 character in mind because I wanted to have like 125, 150, 200, and max level characters. Just for like a different set of range and builds and all that. And so my 125 character that I went through the base game with was a mostly pure intelligence build. With a little bit of strength, so I could use Dark Moon Greatsword, of course. But I didn't think that build would be well suited for the DLC, and I am glad I switched it up and went with more of a strength with a bit of faith build. And again, you know, like, what could be better than, again, a, you know, hot blonde lady with a big sword? You know, why not? And it was fun, you know, just to go full, mostly strength, because I hadn't really done that before. The other builds that I have at hand right now, I've got my Melania build, my Darth Maul build, which is more arcane based, of course, and then I have my Triss Marigold, which is a Dex Faith build, but mostly Pyromancer. So, yeah, it was fun to go with that character. I realized, I guess I kind of goofed because now we're going to have like footage from the 125 playthrough mixed in with footage from my other playthroughs, but hey, you know, it'll be bosses, it'll be cool. So this is the Dancer of Ranah, who we find in one of the mausoleums. And I gotta say, they really, what did I say, like, tweaked up the AI for the NPCs. Like, they actively, like, will backstep to get away from you and gain distance before they heal. Yeah, she's not too bad. Definitely susceptible to staggers and jump attacks found off the Cerulean Coast, which is a very pretty area. So yeah, that's a good fight indeed. There's 4 of those mausoleum ones. They're all just like NPC style enemies. Funny how the most difficult one is the first one we all encountered, though. So, next, of course, we couldn't go a DLC in Elden Ring without having some repeat bosses. And this, of course, is another Demi-Human Queen. This one is, what's your name? Demi-Human Queen. Marigga? Marigga? I don't know. Anyway, they're not that difficult. They stagger, they're susceptible to bleed, they're very easy, and all of their little minions decide to screw off as soon as their leader is dead. So, praise the rushing in, praise the taking it all at once. The bouncer to this area, Master Yoda, he's more of a boss, but we'll fight him as a boss later, thankfully. And of course, what else would we have but another Ghostflame Dragon? And this one's more annoying because he summons friends. So here we go. This is where I decide Sacred Blade is the way to go. With the good old Guts Greatsword, This guy's annoying because he also summons friends. Like halfway through the fight, he summons a bunch of skeletons, which is very annoying. I can't remember if I summoned for this fight or not. I think I may have thought it because I was like, well, if you get to bring friends, then I get to bring friends. It's only fair, No, don't gesture. That's the problem with having it so all my flasks are through the hotkey thing, is that sometimes you accidentally gesture instead. And do you guys mind? Do you guys mind? There we go. I'm trying to kill dragons here. But yeah, I tried to minimize the use of spirit ashes, but I'm not like in some moral high ground thought process that ashes are cheating or it doesn't really count if you use mimic tier. It was more of a challenge to myself. Could I do it with a lower level character? Yes or no? And at a point, it was just kind of well, at first I was still using Black Knife Tish, so I referred to that as that's it, I'm getting mom. Because Tish is my knifey wifey with a knifey. And holy pot for you. Power of Christ compels you. And let's pose for the camera. Hey, get out of here, you. I'm trying to pose for the camera. But then eventually it was kind of that's it, I'm getting me mimic. Because why not, right? I guess that's the other thing I can say about the difficulty of Elden Ring, is that there are some bosses I feel where it's if you use a summon, you just steamroll them, and if you don't, it's crazy difficult. That's how I felt about Melania. So here we have the wonderfully titled boss, Ancient Dragon Man. So what is he, Trogdor? This ancient guy was a man. I mean, he was a dragon man. Or maybe he was just a dragon, but he was still Trogdor. So yeah, this is the triumphant return of the dragon form has finally returned, and I love that. I mean, I never actually really used dragon form in any of the games before, so I don't know how good it is. I just know it's a thing. I might give it a try, though, because, again, my Darth Maul build that I'm playing through right now is an arcane build, and the Dragon Communion stuff scales with arcane, so we might give it a try. This guy, he's basically a regular NPC fight, but he has the dragon scale katana, or whatever it is, the great dragon katana, dragon hunter's great katana, and that's a fun weapon. We're going to make use of that later, alright? Yes, we will. And, oh wow, another dragon fight, what do you know? Again, the rule was we're doing all the bosses, in no regard to whether or not they are repeat fights. And this is a Jagged Peak Drake. And of course, this is where I have found my new favorite weapon. It's the Black Steel Great Hammer, which is funny because this was actually the first new weapon that I got, because I instantly took a right and went down to the Church of Consolation and found this knight who dropped this weapon, and I thought, this looks like, what is it, Paladin Leroy, right? Looks like an old school, like, Paladin Leroy weapon, big faith hammer, and I thought, I can use this alright. I also switched over to the brass shield because apparently it was, at the time, one of the best shields in the game because it's a medium shield, but it has like the guard boost of a mid-sized shield. And the shield was primarily if I wanted to use Vow of the Indomitable, because I can't believe I did like 4 playthroughs of the game without making use of that ash, but it's very good. It's basically the everything proof shield of Ashes of War, and I really love it for that. It was very useful helping people co-op Radahn, because I don't know if it's like an online connection thing, but oh, I got God. I just feel that some of Radagon's moves, like you roll and the hitbox still gets you with the lag, and I just didn't like that. So my Vow of the Indomitable shield was again the everything proof shield, the nah, you can't hurt me shield. Yeah, so that's what we have here, the Jagged Peak Drake, and we'll see more of it going up, but I really love this area. Like, what was it we talked about? Archdragon Peak in Dark Souls 3, and how Crumbling Farm Azula was like Archdragon Peak on steroids, but like I really love Jagged Peak because it's just like the ultimate sort of Death Mountain trope, you know. And I'm okay with the fact that it's kind of empty. It's just a giant red carpet, and I like that. It just allows you to focus on the experience. Some kind of complain that the world is a little too empty, but I like that. You know, it's just more atmospheric. There's a good balance between exploring and combat, and it felt like there was a decent amount to explore. Of course, that is the biggest flaw of Elden Ring, is that once you've explored it, you can't explore it again. Okay, can we just finish this guy off, please? There we go. But gotta say, for a first playthrough, really loved the DLC. All flaws aside, definitely worth it. A very great expansion indeed. So, from this Drake, we can go down and find, oh goody, my favorite. It's a Deathrite bird, isn't it? Not just a death bird, but a Deathrite bird. The Ghostflame Ignition Frostbite Fire magic damage guys. Oh wow, I loathed these guys in the base game. And now they're like, hey, guess what? We got another one. This one is arguably one of the most annoying of them. Oh dear, I have too heavy of a shield. I'm fat rolling. Just get rid of the shield. Get rid of the shield. We don't need it. Because he spawns in the middle of a field with a whole bunch of like the mini graveyard birds, whatever they call them, the Graverite birds. They're not too bad of an enemy, but do I want to fight a Deathrite bird who is also surrounded by a bunch of mini birds? No, no, I don't. But thankfully, again, the power of Sacred Blade. Again, some people have been saying that intelligence users kind of got shafted in the DLC, and it's hard for me to decide that because I was a strength faith build, but I definitely feel like most weapons I was like 1 or 2 levels away from being able to use, and yeah, kind of stand by that. But in any case, thankfully this guy just wanted to stop and stare at my, fashion souls of a character. And yeah, that's how we do it. Does that count as cheese? I don't care, because I don't like those guys one bit. And next up we have the Lamenter, is it? Yeah, Lamenter. This guy's a weird fight. So I'm not sure I properly understood the gimmick, but what I think it is that he summons a whole bunch of copies of himself, and then you need to either kill him quick or take out the copies, because I think it's however many copies are left alive when he decides to, like, laugh at you, determines how many of these, like, skulls you see building up on your character. And so the more skulls that build up on your character, eventually you die. Like you see there, I've got a couple that built up. Like, I don't know what it is. Does he vicious mockery me to death? You know? Does he just laugh me to death? Like it's It Chapter 2? I don't know. But this is also a definite case of the praise the rushing in. And the other thing I found that was really good was to bleed him, or, you know, use Bloodflame, because I found he was easier to distinguish from all of his clones during the clone attack. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the trick. You just gotta kill him fast, because you see I've got like 3 of the floaty heads around me. And yeah, I think that's what it was. I don't know exactly. I died a couple of times. I'm like, where? Oh, there you are. Oh my wamo shinderu. But in any case, yeah, I won. The backhanded blades are fun, but I just found that they were like too weak and didn't do enough damage. They were kind of squishy with my build, so I did not use them that much. And there's an Ash of War you can get for them that is like super cancerous in PvP right now. I've gotten invaded by one guy who did it, and it just was not fun. So now we continue further up the Jagged Peak to another Jagged Peak Drake. Does it make sense that there's a whole bunch of dragons in this area? Well, absolutely. Is it kind of annoying to fight a dude right after I fought another one of the dudes? Well, I guess so, yeah. Oh, he noticed me. Okay. Yeah, they're fighting with each other. There's 2 drakes. And so, yeah, I decided to let them fight, you know, let them fight. Like it was Pacific Rim, you know. But, oh, damn, I got caught. Anytime I'm running away from fire, I just have to go like I'm blowing the fire out. Yeah, these dragons hit hard. Again, I don't know really what Scadutree blessing you're supposed to be at. But I do really like the Scadutree fragments. I got about halfway through the DLC before they adjusted the scaling of them. But I think it's a good system. The only thing that's annoying is that there is the exact number of them that you need to get to max level, because I think one glitched out on me because I was level 19 with 1 to go, and I couldn't find it, and I went to every single location, even the ones where I was sure I picked it up already, and it wasn't there. I've heard there's a glitch where, like, if you kill one of the enemies that are holding them in pots, and then you die before you pick it up, that it disappears forever. But I'm pretty sure I didn't die when picking up any of them from the pot enemies. I've also heard some people say when you pick up like the 5 fragments from the Scadutree Chalice after you beat Commander Gaius, that you pick up 5, but your inventory only increases by 4. I don't know. So in any case, I finished the DLC at Blessing 19. Still pretty good. Well, for the most part, not really there, as you can see. It was a comment I saw some people making back when the game first came out, that you do not actually have a health bar in this game. You have the good old Legend of Zelda 3 hearts and then you die system. Or like old school video game arcades, right? Where you can take like 3 hits and then you're dead. 3 lives and then that's it. That's basically how this game's health seems to function. And that is what's frustrating, is that you do not get many openings. It seems like the trick is to simply overwhelm the player and punish them for not getting it perfect. But yeah, in any case, as you can still see, using that Black Steel Great Hammer, really loved it. And also loved how they gave me a Super Lion's Claw, the Savage Lion's Claw. Though apparently it's actually not as good as the regular Lion's Claw if you're looking to do posture damage. Or like poise break an enemy. It's more useful if you want a multi-hit combo. But I liked it, you know. I thought it was pretty good. And, oh, you kidding me, man? 1 HP in a dream. You better not kill me now or I'll be very upset. This is why you always keep throwing knives on your inventory. There we go. Oh, and you left me a goodie. That's nice. So now Egon's going to be over there laughing. Then he's going to help us progress our quest further up the peak. He wants us to summon him so he can help us fight Bayle. Vile Bayle, oh terror incarnate. Curse you, Bayle. And here we go. This is one of my least favorite fights in the DLC. Which is funny because it's a ancient dragon, Senessax. And you'd think that'd be fine because, like, I fought loads of these dudes in Crumbling Fire Missoula. But you'd be wrong because they do the most annoying thing of having the dragon with lightning AoEs for every attack sit in a pool of water. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I know what they're doing here. Right? Yeah, so I could not be asked to fight this dude normally when every extra attack has an AoE and he's hitting you for 3/4 of your health bar with every hit. So I went with the good old kind of sort of cheese strat of using Torrent, which was not even most effective because also I'm using the dragon katana and I don't have much scaling with it. I realize it's mainly only the Ash of War, I think, that does the anti-dragon effect. So yeah, this is going to be about 10 minutes of me riding around hitting legs, so buckle up. But, of course, a commitment to all bosses is a commitment to all bosses, and this was indeed how it was. You will not be seeing any furnace golems in this video. I did not include them because they do not have boss health bars. That was my... oh, god damn it. That was my main metric for, you know, should these guys count? Well, they don't have boss health bars. They're not named bosses. They don't respawn. I just kind of consider them to be like a sort of environmental obstacle or hazard, and I don't find them that fun to fight. Once you figure out the trick, it's just a little more tedious than anything else, because you just run around and hit their legs for like 10 minutes until they fall over, and you gotta do that twice. And then just jump over all the attacks that they use. And then the ones where you've got to throw the furnace pot into the top, light a fire in their bellies. That's just also annoying because, at least I found the one in the hidden grave or whatever it's called. He just kept spamming the hurl 50 fireballs at you like he's a D&D wizard or something. Yeah, wasn't really into that either. Anyways, why don't we talk about some lore while we're at it? So, it seems that Bayle was a member of like these non-ancient dragons, and so did I really get hit by that? Wow. You know what? I'm gonna need a Rune Bear for this, just to be safe. So it seems the ancient dragons of lightning were those who followed Senessax, and of course they are proper dragons, you know, with 4 limbs and all that. And the drakes, or wyverns, however you want to say it, those were the ones that were the dragons of Bayle. And Bayle and Senessax fought. Bayle's the reason that Senessax was missing heads. And I guess Bayle, he lost a leg, and it looks like he's missing his wings. And you could even see some of Senessax's heads are still attached to him. So that's pretty crazy. So we find a dragon lady, or a dragon wife, who says, hey, you should go kill Bayle. It'll be pretty fun, am I right? And yeah, that's what we're going up the peak to do. A completely optional area. I think the thing that actually surprised me is how few bosses you actually have to fight to beat this DLC. I'm pretty sure if you do it right, your first boss can be Messmer, because there's a way to get around the castle Ennis, or Ensis, by going off to the side, so you don't have to fight Rellana. And then there's a side path through the church district of the Shadow Keep, so you don't have to fight the Golden Hippopotamus. And that means you could just go straight to fighting Messmer right away if you really wanted to. And then from there, you'd have to go fight Ramina, was it? Church of the Bud. Bud. And then from there, that teleports you straight to, what was it, Emir Ilm, or whatever you call it, the final place. The Shadow Fortress. And then from there you fight the final boss, who is promised Consort Radahn, or Radahn, Consort of Miquella. Okay, you need to chill, please, and thank you. Let's go. Come on. Oh dear, so many flasks. Is this fight over yet? Yeah, so I find that interesting, right? That there's ways around it, which is pretty cool. Which is nice. Of course, you'll be depriving yourself of many fun boss fights. Many, not all. Not all of them are great. Again, fighting an ancient dragon again would be kind of fun, but with how overtuned this guy is, and the fact that he's in the water, I guess you can bait him over to the dry area, but I don't know if he would just teleport back eventually. In any case, I couldn't be bothered, because I fought like 7 of these guys in the base game, and it's strange how, like, the fight against one of these guys on top of Far Missoula felt really cool and epic, and here it just feels tedious. Especially those areas, Far Missoula, where you could just jump to a spot and then fight a dragon just so you could get some gravel stone and like some lightning-proof dried liver. Like, the loot system kind of sucks. Let's be real. Like, why is it always mushroom, right? And why are there smithing stone ones? Though, I guess the joke being is, you know, if you were able to get to the DLC with absolutely nothing and no upgrades, you know, like the Iron Pineapple video, which is pretty fun. But, okay, are we done yet? Okay, good. Now we are. let's move on to someone more interesting. Why don't we? Yes, I do think that would be nice. Indeed. At least we got some good upgrade materials. So now here we have another Black Knight. Edredd, I think. Yeah. The Black Knights are very fun to fight. However, they are quite susceptible to the good old big bonk. And again, the Black Steel Great Hammer hard at work. And yeah, I also like how this one has like a little extra buff to the guard counters. This was the weapon that really made me sort of reassess how good shields can be. Because, of course, ever since Dark Souls 2, I had sworn off shields. I have no need for such crude weaponry. But shields are really fun in this game. A good balance of, being able to tank some damage here, but also, like, the guard counters just make it so much fun. And, I wanted the fun weapon art this guy drops. He drops the good old Crucible Wings weapon art, which is fun because we'd always been waiting for it. And I remember seeing the trailer getting real hyped for that. And now, of course, what would we have but another Ghostflame Dragon fight? God damn it, indeed. I don't really know why they insisted on putting, 3 of these guys in here, and not just 3, but 3 of the same element. Like, I guess the idea... Oh, okay, he's on to me. Yeah, I sat here chilling, watching him fight all the soldiers. I even summoned Red Maiden Knight Olg to just, shoot some arrows at him. But, he's on to me now, so I guess we actually gotta get the fight on, so let's get on that, shall we? Oh dear, here comes the AoE. Damn it. Oh, yeah, that's real clever if you just dodge the AoE and then run into the after effect of it. Holy Jesus, what is that damage? It actually did happen. I legit got one shot with max health by a boss. I think it was in co-op, though. And apparently the way the co-op works... Oh, wonderful. I say it would have been really horrible if I died to this guy after watching him fight some Messmer Knights for like 20 minutes. Yeah, the way it works, I'm pretty sure, is that your co-op summons, are you done, sir? Sir, are you okay? Your co-op summons are all relative to your Scadutree level, so if you are level 1, it doesn't matter if the guy you summoned is level 20. He'll be in your world at level 1. So if you're sucking against bosses in co-op, that could be due to you, could be a skill issue, or could also be the fact that the guy who summoned you hasn't gotten any of the Scooby-Doo fragments. It's a possibility. Oh, beautiful angle. Oh, I do love Sacred Blade. Yeah, so... Is it annoying that all the dragons are just regular Ghostflame dragons? Yes, but I guess the idea is to show that all manners of death end up here because the suppressing pillar is the very center of the lands between. And I haven't looked at it yet because I didn't want to spoil the map, but somebody I know, oh, no, that's what we use the daggers for. Throwing daggers. That's why you keep them on your build. So you can just do this. Nope, that. Boop. That's the trick. Always keep them for those tight encounters. Yeah, so I guess it would make sense that they're all undead dragons because they're all undead and that's why they're here. But I digress. Next up we have a Everjail fight. Which one is it again? I don't remember. I think this is Master Yoda, as I call him. Also known as the Demi-Human Swordsman Onze. So, yeah. This guy is a beast. Alright. He's flipping around like he's Master Yoda. He's got a green saber. He looks like a little orc. Little whatever Yoda is called. I love it. Of course, though, He is but a Dex casual. He does not have years of poning Dex noobs like I do, right? We're going, oh, okay, well, maybe he's got a few tricks up his sleeves. He just casually threw me to the side. But in any case, yeah, Dex noobs are nothing compared to the pure awesome might of a good old stagger strength build. At least I think they aren't. I mean, he definitely put up a fight, that's for sure. Definitely one where I feel like I don't know if I got good at it. And he even has force grab. Yeah, he's a pretty fun fight. I enjoy him, and it's fun that you get him as an Ashe as well. I also like how there's a scaling value for the Ashe with the revered spirit blessings. Those are quite nice indeed. Good to be able to bump up your Ashes a little bit. Though I wish there was a way to level them up further in New Game Plus. Otherwise they just get more and more useless, you know. So next we have the Curseblade Labirith. Labirch. More like Curseblade Labitch. Yeah. These guys in general are not very fun. I don't like that they have infinite stamina bars, that they seem to stagger you no matter what, that they can recover from a stagger quite quickly. That's the annoying thing about guard counters, is that you can get knocked out of them, and then you just like took damage for no reason. But in any case, no match are these Dex casuals for the power of a pure might and strength build. Also, I sometimes used the Erdtree Great Shield because it's fun to be able to parry spells with a good old golden retaliation. Next up, we descend all the way through the fissure into the Stone Coffin Fissure, where we are on our way to find Saint Trina. But first, we have to do some good old-fashioned cliff diving. And I think it's fun to do the fun cliff diving jump, you know, like a good old Demon Prince's style. Though the only annoying thing is the more you die to this fight, the more you have to, you know, go and do it again. And I feel like I've gotten better at this guy eventually, but for me at least, I just could not get the timing down for his like roll spam attack, you know. It's something that just seemed to me like trying to dodge it meant that like I was perfectly roll caught by his horse charging me. But then if I dodged the horse, I was in the perfect place to get roll caught by his first attack and wind up. So yeah, this is, as I jokingly call him, the prepubescent knight. But I know he's the putrescent knight, the putrescence. All that washes up here, you know. And yeah, this is again another case where I got a little annoyed at him, and to that I said, that's it, I'm calling Mom. And therefore, yeah, we called Black Knife Tishin, and we devastated this guy. Also, I found out the hard way you have to jump these attacks. I think I was trying to like just use Vow of the Indomitable to dodge them, but that doesn't really work with the timing. So then he has this other attack where he sends the waves out and in. And no, we gotta play it safe. Play it safe and let Mom take care of it. Thanks, Mommy. Yeah, that's what I call her, okay? Because it's like I'm being bullied by a boss, so I ask her to come in and help me out. Yeah, so he's a fun fight. I'm enjoying him a little more now that I've played against him more. I think it's really cool that from there you get to the Garden of Deep Purple, you know. Bam 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 na 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 na. And it's cool to finally meet Saint Trina. Though it is annoying that the quest basically only nets you either like a goodie for looks, or just to help some morbidly depressed dude come in and not be summoned for the final boss fight, you know. Sorry to y'all here. In any case, that's Putrescent Knight. Now we have a Death Knight. These guys are cool. These are Knights of Godwin, as you can see in the background here. He's guarding one of the weird alien Godwin faces. He does sometimes suffer from the infinite stamina combo. Or like, okay, is your attack over? No, now it's over. Oh, now it's over. Oh, and there's a follow-up AoE, I see. But he's not the biggest offender of that. And he's still fun to fight. Again, he is quite susceptible to parrying and guard counters. I like all of his lightning moves that he does. Those are pretty cool. The only annoying thing is the grab that he does, where he can regain a good chunk of health. So I think I maybe took like 2 or 3 tries on each of these guys. I think you fight 2 of them. But yeah, they're good knight fights. They got drip. Knight fights are usually always pretty good in the FromSoft games, especially in this one. There's the grab. Don't get caught by the grab, or all my hard work is undone. And there we go, good old guard counters for the win. What I was working up towards was being able to have the Maliketh set, the Black Steel Great Hammer, and the Black Steel Great Shield. I don't know if it was intended, but like in terms of fashion souls, those all work so well together. Oh no, you don't. So yeah, that's kind of like my main drip, you know. And I also like how it seems like they made holy damage actually kind of useful for some enemies, because there's a lot of strength weapons that require some faith scaling. So yeah, that's a Death Knight. He was pretty fun. And there's good old Godwin again. What do you know? Now next up we have a boss I was dreading fighting, because this is the good old Rellana, not Ranah, the Twin Moon Knight. Again, I called up Mom for this one. You know, I don't like that this lady's bullying me. Can you help her out? Can we teach her a lesson? Rellana, I did it, is a fun but frustrating fight. She definitely is one of the bosses that leans the most into the my combo is over, except it isn't, except now it is, but it really isn't. And by the way, I did a follow-up attack perfectly designed to roll catch you. So that is annoying. I'm interested to try fighting her again at another character. Also, I totally forgot about my Erdtree Great Shield that I could have used to parry those spells. But at least the thing I will say is that she doesn't deal too much damage on a lot of her regular smaller hits, which is nice. But sometimes it does feel like, when do I get to attack? Well, that's the neat part. You don't. And then there's this moon attack where you actually got to jump it or roll it. But of course, there's a follow-up. And Mom, you think you can handle that one, please? Thanks. Thank you. Okay, maybe I'll stop calling her Mom. Okay, fine. It's just funny, okay? You know, because that's the internet these days, right? Anyway, yeah, that's Rellana. She's done. Now we can move on to bigger and better things. Except, can we? No, actually, I don't think we can, because next up is the annoying as hell Golden Hippopotamus. This guy, man. Again, this is basically, if you see me use a summon, that's me just getting frustrated and again being like, you know, that's it, I'm getting me summon. He's not so hard in terms of moveset. Again, he staggers pretty easily. The whole thorns that he uses is pretty cool. It's just, I really hate the arena we fight him in, when he takes up like half the arena with his big old booty. And it's annoying that he ganks you like right out of the gate. And you'll see here, he has a grab attack, which I think they just fixed, but he could basically turn around to prepare to do the grab, and like that was enough to count as grabbing you. Like, you'll see it right here. He just turns through time and space and boop. Like, how was I supposed to react to that? Though he's not the biggest offender as the Commander Gaius hitbox on the bullshit charge. It just seems like one of those things where like 60% of the time it works every time. Alright, fine, Tish, you can steal my kill if you'd like. I used Tish a lot early because I didn't want to resort to Mimic Tier, but she ended up being not really the best choice for some of the fights. Because while she can dodge and she has the Black Blade, Destined Death, she's also kind of squishy, you know, and it's not very good. So here we go, we have the Scadutree Avatar. This is one I had heard about. I heard there was an avatar of sorts. I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, in any case, that's what this guy is, and I still have health. Still have health. Still have health. Stop shooting a freaking laser, please. And I forgot that I used Mimic Tier on this, but again, that was kind of my like, that's it, I'm getting me Mimic sort of thing, you know. Like, if you want to watch someone do it without summons and do it blindfolded and sitting in a different room and not even looking at the screen while they're upside down with their hands submerged in water, I'm sure you can find somebody who did that. But that's not how I do it. Oh, you with that delayed charged. Oh, again with the delayed charge. One more. There we go. I swear that was not a charge that was like a bad hitbox. It's a good hitbox on that charge. But there's something about it, it just like feels like every time it could just totally get me. So yeah, I went with good old Flame of the Red Mains with this one. Because it is a powerful Ash of War that even if they nerfed the stance damage on it, it can still be properly tuned up with good talismans. And yeah, that's basically, if I get summoned to fight this boss, I'm pulling out me Flame of the Red Mains, because that's a lot of damage. And yeah, I remember the first time I fought him, I went and posed for the picture and everything. And then I was like, why didn't the enemy feld screen pop up? Oh, I see. And again, how many times do we have to teach you this old lesson, man? This lesson, old man. And yeah, he has his old nuke attack, which again, you know, it's like, I don't feel like dealing with that, so that's when we pull out Flame of the Red Mains for that. It's basically my motto. Do I just not have time for this? No, I don't. And here we go, another one. But actually there was a follow-up. So thankfully we healed through it. Alright, Mimic, do you need me to get this one for you? Or is this up for you? I don't know. It's actually interesting because the fights sort of become sad. There's like this very like, the theme to it. It's kind of sickly almost with those sort of staccato-y sounding strings. Oh, we're doing it again, huh? No, not if I say so. Alright, fine, maybe if you say so. And now the theme gets all sad. And it's almost like the Avatar's like last hurrah to defend the Erdtree, the Scadutree. I don't know. But in any case, this fight is important because it gets you Miquella's Great Rune, which you can use to resist his grab at the final fight. So, up next we have the Rune Bear boss fight, because of course we do. It was the thing that everyone joked about. Oh yeah, the boss of the DLC is going to be a Rune Bear with like a whole bunch of friends, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. Though, like, is this guy like actually a bear, or is he a guy who's turned into a bear? Because you get like a bear pelt, and there's like a set of regular clothes nearby, and I know there's this whole thing about him being part of the bear cult, or the bear communion, what is jokingly called the bear communion. And we see here that he also uses like the ground slam, the bestial ground slam that like Maliketh Crank uses. which I forget which one that's called. It's not Bestial Sling, or not the Boulder Throw. Something else entirely. But, in any case, is it weird, though, that this guy, while being an actual boss, I found to be not as bad as, like, regular Rune Bears? I don't know what it is. I feel like because he does the ground pound attack slams more, that he's more likely to be, like, just chilling while you can tank damage and hit him in the back. I just remember that, like, Rune Bears, especially in, like, the Consecrated Snowfield, would, like, do, like, 3/4 of your health. They'd be relentless, stagger you, give you no openings, and your only hope was that if they tried to grab you, that they would glitch out through the floor. Maybe because I had a higher Scadutree blessing at this point, I don't know. But yeah, in any case, not too bad. Though, I don't know what all the ladies see in this guy here, you know? He seems pretty vicious. I think, like, if I told him no, or just stop, I don't know if he would. Okay, there. Man versus Bear, it's been a topical thing. We made the joke about that. Now we're moving on. Something. Baldur's Gate 3, right? But, yeah, I don't know. Why choose the man or the bear when you could choose the badass woman with a great hammer, you know? Just saying. And, yeah, moving on from there, we have another mausoleum fight. We may have left our key in a mausoleum, but we also left a boss fight in a mausoleum, and, what do you know, we got another bear. This guy, he hates that the women are not choosing the man, that they're choosing the bear so much that he wanted to become a bear himself. But does it help him win this boss fight? Well, no, not really. Again, I don't know if it's like a Scadutree blessing thing, but I feel like this guy was the easiest out of all of the mausoleum fights. Because there was the Blackgoal Knight, who of course kicks our ass because he hits you for like 3/4 of your health bar with every attack and doesn't stagger. And there's the Dancer, who has like her infinite stamina and her flame attack. And then there's the Katana guy. I don't think we've gotten to him yet. But he's not too bad. This guy just kind of does what he can with the claws. Kind of proving why fists, while they may be a fun weapon, are not that optimal, I think. Oh well, that's that. At least we get some cool fashion out of it, right? Yeah, regular bear set, I don't know. And yeah, coincidentally also, next boss fight I fought was another bear. What's better than one Rune Bear? Well, two great Rune Bears. This one gave me a little trouble because I think he's scaled a little higher of a level than the other one, because he's found deeper into the Rawa, however you say it, base. And yeah, again, they're alright fights. Kind of annoying that, like, two of our bosses are dedicated to just kind of reskin variations of regular enemies. But hey, look, if we had a choice between, like, you know, what meme boss became an actual boss, I'd rather take the Rune Bear boss than the Godskin quadruple, you know, the foreskin duo, or like the Godskin in a Scarlet Rot. Remember Godskin Duo? Everyone hated that fight. Did they change the AI to that fight a little? It feels like that they're not nearly as aggressive anymore. And then we all realized they were weak to sleep, right? That's kind of how it is. Like, you know, all them regular game bosses, we're looking at them like, perhaps I treated you a little too harshly, or, you know, I judged you for being too hard. Remember Melania, right? Say what you want about Melania, but she actually gives you a chance to, like, heal and stuff. And next we have the final of the Mausoleum bosses, and this is, what's it, Rashadusha, Rajadora. Anyway, he's a dude who is definitely going to be the PvP's favorite scrub design. Hey, you get out of here with that. Because he's got an armor set that, okay, wow, that hitbox. Let's get your act together, Dars, come on. Yeah, okay, no, it's my turn to spam jump attack. Getting staggered. Yeah, he's got an armor set that I'm pretty sure increases the damage you deal, but at the cost of taking more damage. So if you're going to be like a class cannony, PvP duelist scrub type build, then that's good. And he has a great katana, which I haven't used yet. But I think it makes you take more damage. Like when you're attacking, perhaps. I don't know. And also, don't mind me just getting my mileage out of Savage Lion's Claw. This guy, though, as you can see, still hits quite hard. Because I'm pretty sure his mausoleum you find him in is towards the Abyssal Woods, the best worst area of the game. Yeah, I've got to say, after the hype to the Abyssal Woods, very disappointed by the actual execution of it, you know? I don't know, man. Maybe people had a different experience with it, but for me, I just put on the black knife armor and crouched walked past a bunch of dudes, and that was it. So yeah, here we have another set of the catacombs, which at the end, it actually opens up to a new area. And we have Jory, the Elder Inquisitor. Actually, dodge roll fail. I also realized the trick with this guy is to backstab him here so you can dodge all the blasts. But I died a couple times this fight, and I decided to go with the good old quick speed rushing in, the backhanded blades. And yeah, they are fun. Though I think it would have been nice if we got like a singular backhanded blade so that people could cosplay as the apprentice from the Force Unleashed. Remember him, man? Ray's too overpowered, but the apprentice was not overpowered. There we go. Backstab. Because it's easy and it does a lot of damage. Yeah, so he's not too much to the fight, but I guess he's interesting. He's unique. I'll give him that. Not my favorite, though. Of course, because he's a cleric, right? And we hate clerics. But I like how, the catacombs, it actually leads somewhere new. It's not just like a minor set of reshuffled, reused assets that ends in a copy and paste boss fight, and just to get some spirit ashes you won't use. Like here, it actually is a way to progress the level, which confused me at first. Because can you stop spamming a laser, please? Because I'm not used to that, right? But the Dragon Pit does that, and the Catacombs here does that, which leads us to the Abyssal Woods. I say I wasn't the biggest fan of the Abyssal Woods because it was all build up but no good execution, because it was just some Winter Lantern knockoffs who weren't as scary as actual Winter Lanterns. So here we go. The one, the only Commander Gaius and the broken ass hitbox, right? Gotta say, that charge attack he does has a 99% chance of hitting me. And even at a pretty high Scadutree Fragment Blessing, I still felt that he was dealing an insane amount of damage. Somehow I dodged it there. I think the trick is you need to dodge slightly forward but not completely forward. So here for this fight I decided to go just hyper mode, as I call it, which is just everything is put into doing flame damage and the good old Flame of the Red Mains, right? The old reliable. Because I was sick of this guy's shit. He really kicked my ass a lot. And that's why we use Flame of the Red Mains, because we dodge that attack so that we can get a lot of good hits in. And it's okay because you're mine now. I guess this guy's actually an Albinoric, which is why he has no legs. And he was also, sort of like a friendly rival of Radahn's, friendly rivalry, so that's nice, I guess. And thanks for helping again, Tish. Yeah, I was sick of this guy. We'll see how my replays go against him, but I'm not the biggest fan of that fight. It just feels like difficult for the sake of difficult, and yeah, that's that. Moving forward, there's another set of catacombs in the end of the Rao base, and it's another Death Knight, because these guys hang out in catacombs, because of course that's where we got more body of Godwin, right? And no, I don't want to get hit by that. That sucks. I almost considered doing a do-over here. But no, we're gonna keep going, just to heal it all out, right? No, are you gonna let me heal? Okay. Maybe after I've healed to full, we can start this fight over again. Alright, now let's talk. These guys are, again, they're pretty fun to fight. They can be annoying. Some of the combos are just delayed enough to roll catch you, but it doesn't feel like super obnoxious. And they stagger quite good. I was just playing with them with the Darth Maul build using the chicken leg arm, the Bloodfiend's arm. And even after that thing has been quote-unquote nerfed, it's actually still pretty good. Because I could, basically get a stagger with, 2 regular ones and a charged one, so that's nice. I also hate how their charge grab is, slightly delayed enough sometimes to catch you. It seems like I can never go a playthrough without getting grabbed by it at least once. But, oh well. And also they've got that pretty sick-ass lightning incantation, which I have not used yet, because I haven't unlocked it, but I am looking forward to giving that one a try. So, yeah, overall, pretty good boss fight. Well, we gotta fight 2 of them in the game, right? Because one has the dual axes, and this guy has the long axe. And it's got the blink bolt skill, and throwing knife for you. That's why I always keep throwing knives on my inventory, for those 1 HP in a dream moments. Next up, there was a fort that I didn't find my way in until much later. It has another Black Knight. Again, the same as all the other fights. I don't know what makes this guy special. I guess because he's, he's got tongue. We know what his favorite move with the ladies is, shall we say. And yeah, not really any different apart from the tongue move than the other ones, and we can't get that as an Ash of War, can we? Aspects of the Crucible, tongue. But in any case, the Black Knights are fun to fight, and I love the drip, because I was looking up, where do I get the shield? I need that shield to complete my perfect Fashion Souls cosplay. And there it is, the shield is mine. So moving forward through here, we have a nice peaceful flower village, and I saw a summon sign on the ground that made me stop when I realized, oh wait, where did you come from? Good old Tree Sentinel is back. And you know what? I never thought I would say this, but I'm looking forward to seeing a Tree Sentinel. A nice easy boss who actually gives me a chance to heal, has nice telegraphed moves, is quite susceptible to guard counters. Yeah, never thought I would say that, right? But as you can see now, I've got the full-on Fashion Souls build, right? The Black Steel Great Hammer, the Black Steel Great Shield, and Maliketh's armor. They work so well together. And there we go, that's a Tree Sentinel down. And I got all ready to celebrate when I realized, oh, wait a minute, I didn't get any runes from that though. I got a goodie. Enemy felled. Is it the good old Tree Sentinel Duo? Well, yes it is. There's one right down the road. And, yeah, I guess you gotta take both of them out before you rest at a grace. But But in any case, he's not too bad anymore, you know. I kind of thought it was a little odd, like, they didn't bother adding any new attacks for him or switching him up a little bit. And I guess that's because, you know, these guys are meant to be, like, guarding the original village where Marigga grew up, the shaman village, because they were all shamans, the Numians, or the Numans, whatever you call them. And that's a very fun area. There's not much to do there. I wish we got a grace there so I could just teleport there. It's, I think it's a shared experience we almost all had of, like, stepping into that village and, hearing the harp play and, you know, kind of realizing what it is and seeing the minor Erdtree spell. It was a very magical moment, so if they had to throw a reskin boss like there, at least that one, like, makes sense. That's what's nice. Also, reskin bosses that make sense. The Fallingstar Beast makes sense, because, again, I'm pretty sure, if I'm understanding it correctly, again, you know, source, trust me bro, it's what I've heard, and, oh, Torrent's already dead, what do you know? I thought I'd be cool and, like, fight on Torrent for this fight, but I guess he had some other plans, you know? Yeah, is that, the finger ruins of, what is it, Deo and Ro, I'm not sure exactly, but the finger ruins is where, let's see, there's Meter, right, Mother of all Fingers, and, one of those ruins is where, like, she impacted. Apparently I can't block that, I don't know. This is where I was kind of realizing, you know what, maybe I'm not cut out for the whole tank build thing, because it seems like half the attacks I block don't work. So, Meter, the Mother of all Fingers, is definitely one of those ruins is from her. And I thought that maybe the other one is from the Greater Will, perhaps, or what is it, the Elden Beast. Because the Greater Will is like a weird, like, god-like entity out there beyond the stars. And the Elden Beast was like the physical representation of the Greater Will and the Elden Ring, and that's why it's like part of it inside it. And then Meter is almost like the real one behind it all. She's almost kind of like an abandoned Apridas, you know, trying to communicate with a god that no longer is listening. And so she's like tried to like receive communication, but you know, no signal, no reception. Similar in the way that Placidusax is kind of just chilling in the realm beyond time. He's waiting to hear like from his dragon god, whoever that might be. And that's why he kind of looks like the two fingers as well. It's meant to be like a visual similarity, right? So all of the two fingers and the three fingers, those answer to Meter, and Meter would answer to the Greater Will, but Meter hasn't heard anything from the Greater Will, so I think she's just kind of been like, you know, rolling with it, you know, improvising. I think, maybe. It's something like that. We'll get to Meter, alright, that's for sure. That's a very interesting fight indeed. And this is where I realize I'm already down on health there. This is not good. Probably not a great performance in this boss fight. I think I kind of went in perhaps a little casually, thinking, oh yeah, I've slapped this guy before, I can slap him again. I'm still not really sure though what makes him a Fallingstar Beast and makes the other one on top of Mount Gelmir a fully grown Fallingstar Beast. I think I was just really hoping for like a poise break, you know, but oh well. Anyway, there we go, poise break, and that's how you finish off a boss in style. Always fun when you can do that, and smile for the camera. But you see what I mean? Is my drip not on point? This is some good fashion Souls, I would say, you know, personally. So now now we get to meet her, the Mother of All Fingers, and oh god, was I just like, nope, when I first entered this boss arena, because I don't know if you guys know, but if you go up to like the left side of the first finger ruins you follow, you find like one of the ghost spirits chilling in a shack, and he mentions something about being embraced in the Mother of All Fingers. And so when I went to the first finger ruins, I thought, oh, when I interact with the thing, it's gonna be a boss fight against some like Mother of All Fingers boss. And it wasn't. And then it was like, okay, I've got to go to a church and meet a dude, and he gives me a map. And okay, now I can go to the ruins and go activate the thing. And what happens now? Well, nothing. I just get a goodie. And then he gives me the map to another set of ruins. Okay, what happens there? Well, just another goodie. Well, then he gives me a map to a third ruins, and I'm like, that's underneath the church. What? And then I go down the path, get invaded, and then when I arrive at this area, I just took one look at this thing and, oh, just no, just absolutely not. So Meter is a very cool fight. I love that it's about as close as we could get to like a Bloodborne style boss. However, I feel like the damage output is like pretty crazy, and I'm also not sure like what you're supposed to do in the event of this like dual laser black hole attack. Like, you can't outrun it. It seems like it covers the whole arena. I don't know, I haven't properly figured out how to dodge that attack. This is where I realized, oh, you know, I had been sleeping on Bloodhound's Fang. Oh, okay, no, don't die in the final pose for the boss. It's interesting how we defeated her, and she seemed like she didn't actually die. She just disappeared into a black hole. Is she dead? I don't know. And then of course I go back to the chair, and then what have I done? Oh, hi. Okay, it's a boss fight. We're fighting now. Yeah, I know everyone always talks about Bloodhound's Fang being such a great, good, old, reliable weapon, but I never really had, like, the right build to properly utilize it. And then I realized with this one it would actually be quite pertinent. Plus, it's bleed, you know, and bleed's good. It doesn't matter if it's a weird god from beyond the stars. If it bleeds, we can kill it. And this is the other thing that made me... Oh, hi, hello, you're here now. And you've got a bunch of fingers coming out of your chest. That's just gross. And I mean, hey, you know, man, it's 2024. The dude wants to be a mom. That's cool, man. And... oh, and he's chest-bursting finger creepers. Oh, God, that's horrible. And he's got fingers coming out of the ground. This dude really wants to finger me. Oh, that's horrible. You know, Bloodborne has probably some of the most squeamish parts in all of Souls, but just from the first trailer shot when I saw those finger creeper monsters, I knew that, no, this would be the one. I think I was very stupidly trying to do the spell parry because I had the Erdtree shield equipped, not realizing that that's a very hard spell to parry because of the timing to it. So, you know, what do you do with casters? You know, get up in your face and be like, I don't care because I bunga, therefore I bunga. But yeah, I was always so scared in this area because, like, you walk in and it's like a no combat zone, but there's bloodstains everywhere and there's people fighting, so I'm kind of like, okay, when is the boss fight from this area happening, right? When is it happening? And, yeah, this is where it is. Although, he's not too bad. He can output a bit of damage, but again, most magic users, of course, are very easy prey to the good old, you know, get up in their face and attack them. Once, of course, I've healed. And once you stop teleporting, is that, like, finger spell meant to be like an AoE? I don't know. it in case, yeah, this guy's creepy. This guy's weird. I don't like him. I think from this you finally get a staff that lets you do both sorceries and incantations though, so that's pretty cool. Might have to revive my Into Faith build. And next, of course, we have Bayle. Curse you, Bayle. Vile Bayle. Oh yeah, Bayle the Dread. Man, was this a fight I was kind of dreading. And also looking forward to. Because, I mean, the build up to this fight is just so cool. Like, you have to scale a mountain, it's a big volcano. It's just all vibes. And that's okay. I'm fine with the fact that there's not that many enemies there. Just rolling with it. And they give you a specific katana for the fight, but it's not like a Stormbreaker, Storm Ruler type of thing that just makes the fight trivial. It's just something you can use. And then they give you an NPC summon to help out. And he's just got such great dialogue during the fight. Everyone's been memeing his dialogue already. But it's just great. I don't know how much use he actually is during the fight, but I'll probably just always summon him for the fights, because he doesn't boost the boss's health, since his summon sign is within the arena. And oh, we go, phase 2. What happens in phase 2? He grows lightning wings. Jesus. I think I got pretty lucky with some RNG and, having it so that he didn't go to phase 2 until like closer to a third health. And of course I got the good old shield for the Vow of the Indomitable when I just want to say, you know what, no, I don't like your attack. And thanks Tish for being a damage sponge in this fight. I think this was definitely a fight though where perhaps I didn't really win at it, I just didn't die. Because this is only about my third or fourth attempt, I want to say, and probably 2 or 3 of those were just trying to summon Egon without getting immediately curb stomped by Bayle. But yeah, he's a very fun dragon fight. I don't know if he's the best fight in the game for dragon fights. Oh wow, yeah, so cool. I love him, because obviously I really love Senessax and Fortisax. Those guys are really great. But this guy's kind of in a league of his own in terms of style. And I love that you get a katana specifically for this fight. And again, the whole concept of the lore was that he and Senessax fought to a stalemate, much like Radahn and Malenia, so that's pretty cool. And I not that I really have time to admire his beauty in the fight, but apparently you can still see one of Senessax's heads, stuck on him after being wounded in the fight. And, oh, that definitely should have been, an AoE, alright. Apparently you need to make sure that Egon survives the fight. I don't know. But, he did for me, apparently. He was a good damage sponge. And yeah, there we go. Bayle the Dread finally slain. Oh yeah. And he's basically like the Moby Dick and Captain Ahab of this story. So yeah, really great fight. Love it so much. Can't wait to fight him again. Next up we have another big, insane boss who is Midra, the Lord of Frenzied Flame. So, you've gone through the Abyssal Woods, which is not that great of an area, because again, it really hypes up these scary Winter Lantern monsters, but they are so easy to stealth around, because the game gives you so many stealth tools, so I didn't get spotted once, or I wasn't even that afraid. I was just kind of like, oh, this is just super casual, super easy. I really wish we either could have gotten, like some people have said, a Madness Dragon, or like that Eye of Sauron thing, like from the tower in Liurnia, or maybe perhaps enemy enemies that were actually worthy enough to be on the level of Winter Lanterns. Because I don't think they've ever topped Winter Lanterns for scariest enemy. But then we get to this very spooky house, and this dude just, like, pulls his own head off this horn-sent spear. So this guy's Midra, and he was attempting to be a Lord of Frenzied Flame. And I guess it was his side chick or whatever was encouraging him, because this is what a dude will do for a girl when he simps too hard, I think. Nanaya or whatever. Nania business. And so he's finally fed up of just enduring the pain. And now here we go. He's got the Eye of Sauron. And he's a Lord of Frenzied Flame. And now he's using this horn-sent weapon. Yeah, pretty fun transition indeed. Yeah, wow. Though it's funny for me because, again, on this playthrough, in the regular game, I was an Oppenheimer character, so I did the whole nuke the world ending, right? So it's very funny then to fight this guy and be like, no, I'm the Lord of Frenzied Flame. Who are you? Get out of here with that. So again, also a fun fight. I don't know if I actually bothered trying to do it solo. I think sometimes I get to this stage in the game, I just kind of want to, like, get things over with, you know? And I think I Vow the Indomitable that at the wrong time. I don't know exactly. But yeah, he's a fun fight. It just makes me wish we had more frenzy incantations, you know? That would be really cool. And, oh god. Wait, I still have health. Mimic, defend me. Anytime I'm calling out for the Mimic, I just feel like Neo. Trinity, help. But, it's okay, because if no one got me, I know my Mimic got me. Because the best person to fight with me is another me. Ain't that right? Yeah, because bleed. Very nice. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. The Frenzied Flame boss fight. I love it. It's great. Also, it's funny how I kept searching around the entire map for this monk guy that I had to challenge to a fight, not to realize he was just right over there. Like when it said to the east, I thought it meant like way east, not just like, oh, like 20 feet over that way. So, while Dryleaf Dane is just like an NPC fight, he's got a boss health bar, so I guess he counts. Not that he's that difficult, though, again proving why fisticuffs are not really the best weapon to use against someone with a black steel great hammer. Yeah. Still fun, nonetheless, though, when you unlock his weapons. Further in, I actually went through the ancient ruins of Rawa first before fighting Messmer, because I just found them by accident. And here, of course, even though this guy was the bane of my existence for the first bit, we have another divine beast, dancing lion. This time, of course, I decide, you know what? I beat you already solo. I'm calling Tish for this one. Because why not? And the reason I used Tish, not Mimic tier, was because this guy is a Rite bastard. Because he summons basilisks during the fight. I was like, oh, okay, you know a few tricks. So I didn't want an enemy, a summon that could be death blighted, because that's what kept happening to my Mimic tier. Also, apparently you can jump the, the smoke attacks he does, so that's pretty cool. But there, we got some good RNG, and then we got him down to 3rd health before he went to Deathblight mode. And I'm like, oh, okay, oh, you're bad. I guess what I could have done to negate them a little bit is carry the Beast Repellent Torch on my back. And this is where I was like, alright, Tish, I'm gonna need you to take care of him while I take care of these guys. Overgrown lizard guys with the big googly eyes. Who do they think they are? So, yeah, I mean, it's still a fun fight. Just kind of annoying that not only can he do Deathblight, but that he brings out basilisks. And as everyone's been asking, where was the Deathblight swamp? Where was the Deathblight weapons? Alright, say, that counts. One loading screen later, and it counts. That's it, I quit. It counts. A win's a win is a win, so that counts. Next up we have Messmer the Impaler, who of course was the big boss all over all of the DLC promos and the trailers and the cutscenes and all that. Yeah, big boss indeed. He's an interesting boss. He's kind of like Morgoth in that way, where like at first he appears like he's kind of a right evil bastard, but you realize that perhaps he had intentions that were not that evil. I mean, does that excuse everything he did? Well, not exactly. And Snake. Big boss, Snake. Well, what do you know? Yeah, he's interesting because I think he's kind of annoyed that, like, you are the chosen one, a tarnished. When he's like, yo, I've been sitting here this whole time and I've done everything you asked. So again, some hardcore mommy issues, that's for sure. And he was commanded to basically kill and purge all of the Horn Scent because they were the ones that killed all the shamans and put them in jars. And put them in the jar. Oh, that's bad. So he has a fun fight, but I'm not sure if I really got the best experience because me and good old Mimic Tier kind of steamrolled him. Because of course we did, right? And of course he opens with an attack right away to catch you off guard, right? That's how it is. All the bosses in the DLC, they open off with a jump attack right away. Probably because they don't want you just standing there using comedies, or right? So yeah, I don't know, again, if I got good at this fight, if it was kind of one that I just sort of won because I reduced his health to 0 before he reduced my health to 0. But that's okay, right? And, got grabbed. Melania would be proud. I guess is Melania like a half-sister of his? Because apparently the lore implies that Messmer is obviously a son of Marigga, and then it confirms that Melina is, and that he is Melina's brother. Yeah. And of course the good old Phase 2 cutscene, right? Summons the strength within. So here he's gonna pluck out his eye, which is actually like a seal of Marigga and a symbol of grace that's used, I think, to hold back this abyssal serpent that like rests within him, perhaps. And I'm not the biggest fan of this phase because he has these attacks where he kind of like molds into the ground and like spams out a snake army. Like he's the fucking, the Shadows of Yharnam, you know? But like the attacks kind of just come out of nowhere, and it has no wind-up or no timing, and you just take constant damage, and I got killed by it so many times, and I'm like, how was I supposed to react to that? I don't know. Also, I guess he's Italian now. Yeah, so again, the snake AoEs I'm not the biggest fan of. I think, again, that's what Valve the Indomitable is for, right? But I'm sure if I do this fight some more times, I'll get the hang of it eventually. I usually find in this game that the first time I fight the bosses, I like need Spirit Ashes, and then as it goes on, it gets easier. Like my first playthrough, the one you saw in the original video, I was like level 183, I think, by the end of the video. And then by the time we got to it, I was beating the game at like 125 with specific builds, so it all depends on how you set up your character. So yeah, a win's a win is a win. And here we go, of course, open with AoEs, and he just wastes no time getting going. But let's get that swagger, alright. And again, the trick with Mimic Tier is to put a bunch of items in the hotbar, and then he will use those, or she in this case, she'll use all the items. Here we go, this is the attack. Just Vow of the Indomitable. Yep, nope, ain't got time for that. Again, it's not cheesing, it's a method in the game, you know? Yeah, it's so kind of chaotic. And again, Mimic Tier, even if you can't totally outdamage him, you'll be what I always needed you to be. A damage sponge. And there we go. There's that. Base Serpent Messmer. Not sure exactly I understand the whole serpent side to him before, you know, what that all is. Like, he has a primordial serpent within him. That's like to do with record. I don't know. Moving on from there, next up we have Romina Church, Saint of the Bud, and the Church of the Bud. Oh, okay, so she's a smoker, a know-it-all smoker. I see how it is. Yeah, Church of the Bud. Oh yeah, I gotcha. And oh no, she's hot. Yeah, so we have finally an addition to the From Software collection of very hot naked lady on top of a gross bug. The trilogy was finally complete. We had Chaos Witch Quelaag in Dark Souls 1 and Scorpionus Najga in Dark Souls 2. And now here we go, we have Romina, Saint of the Bud in Dark Souls, Elden Ring, which is Dark Souls 2. So yeah, kind of a pretty straightforward fight. I personally, again, was kind of like, just let's steamroller with Mimic Tier. I also tried that new Flask Physic, which is essentially Power Within, because it just like drains your health but gives you a 20% boost on everything. I just thought, let's just go again full on Ultra mode, and thank you Mimic Tier for that. You got my back. Yeah, I think she somehow possessed like the spirit of the rock goddess, and she was sad that the church got burned down. I don't know exactly, but that's a thing. Yeah, she was cool, I guess. So here we go. This is the sealing tree that we are now going to burn using the kindling, because while it may be a DLC, it of course still has to adhere to the plot line of a Dark Souls game. And so here we go. We're using this time, instead of Melena's kindling to burn down the Erdtree and the impenetrable thorns, we are using Messmer's kindling to burn down the sealing tree and the shadow thorns to get to the sanctuary in the sky, I guess, like that Yu-Gi-Oh card. So yeah, pretty cool transition. The only thing I don't like, as other people have said, is that after this you just get magically like teleported to the front, like, you know, 10 feet in front of you, instead of having to go up that big cool staircase. Like, what was the point of building that big cool staircase just for us to go up it and be shooed away by the bouncer, only to not actually get the satisfaction of going up to it when it was burned down? I don't know. It also just feels kind of random, because like the Divine Beast Lion, he's a very difficult fight, so I don't know if you're supposed to do him right away, because I certainly didn't. But hey, gorgeous view. Yeah, so I feel like the game is implying that you need to go elsewhere, but then if you do go there, the game's like, yeah, come back later. But also, like, there's not much that's unlocked after you do burn down the thorns and you unlock the new sanctuary. It's a legacy dungeon, but it's a very small one, which I guess is okay, but I don't know, I'm thinking of like legacy dungeons like Crumbling Farm Azula, which is a very large area with a lot of crazy hidden parts to it, or Lanedale being so huge and expansive, and I'm still finding new areas to that map. Here it just kind of felt small, straightforward, with like one kind of hidden path, you just knew there was a hidden path and I saw it. So, after we progressed through the area, which is like Einir Elium or something, is Needle Knight Letta. And yeah, what do you know? The Tarnished was actually following the Erdtree, and I was not following Miquella. What a twist. So, despite the fact that Miquella's illusion and charm has been shattered, Needle Knight Letta is still basically like, you know, in on it, and oh yeah, all the bloodstains, that's ominous, alright. Yeah, despite the fact that she's not being seduced by Miquella's power, she's still like, yeah, we love Miquella. And yeah, this leads to like a big NPC battle. Originally I was actually fighting it with just the NPC summons. You get Theolier and what is it? What's interesting, so I didn't really know much about the NPC quests in terms of like what was the best rewards. I was trying to go in blind, so I invaded and killed Hornsent and Sir Ansbach, and I guess a lot of people like really love him, so they'd probably be mad at me for doing that. Also, I'm sorry, Moore. I'm sorry we gotta do this. But also, Moore, you kinda suck for the fact that you can throw rot pods at perfect accuracy. Like, seriously, my first couple fights with him, it seemed like he was able to perfectly hone in on me. Sad forever. Oh god, don't do this to me, Moore. Yeah, and so I had, what's his name? They're like some random, like, sanguine noble guy with the whole Reduvia daggers. That's the way to go, right? But as you can see, me and Mimicked here, we kind of took care of business here. Pretty good. And again, that was with me realizing, yes, I had indeed been sleeping on Bloodhound's Fang. I was originally trying it with, like, just the good old Black Steel Great Hammer and realized, you know what? I need some bleed. If it bleeds, we can kill it. And there you go. That's how that's done. And indeed, they want Miquella to make the world a gentler place by basically pulling a druid from the Eternals and enslaving everybody. You know, I guess that'll be fine, right? So, as you can see now, I have leveled up and respected my build. I took everything off of the other stats and went all in on strength and faith. Because here we have the final boss, and the big twist is who's the final boss. It's Radahn. Again, Loyal Blade, Radahn, champion of the festival, us, the Tarnished. And why are our deeds being praised? Because we assisted in Miquella's plan. Apparently, his plan all along was to have Mohg killed so we could use Mohg's body and Radahn's soul, and Melania was specifically sent to Caelid to kill Radahn on Miquella's behalf, which is why she whispers to him, Miquella awaits thee, O promised consort. And this was all part of, Miquella's plan. So I do think it's pretty cool that in a cutscene here, in-game, we get to see Radahn do this move where he pulls up his swords with gravity. Because I remember that moment from the teaser cutscene they released, and thinking, man, that guy's gonna hit hard. Those swords look like an absolute menace. And I was kind of right. But now I was extra right in this fight. So here we go. Promised consort Radahn. And again, he wastes no time getting going with just hitting you with an AoE right out the bat. So, yeah, is this the most difficult fight? Yeah, it was. I had to respec my build a little bit, and I had to probably take like a whole day of doing it and trying different strategies. But in the end, what I realized is I was weak. You see, I was trying to hide from my true destiny of being a full Unga Bunga. I had like levels in faith and levels in dex, and I was like, no, we don't need that. What we need is entirely strength. And so I went on heavier armor and the good old giant crusher, and that's what we did. And this was actually my first attempt using the giant crusher with the cold infusion. So the first phase, it is difficult, but it's manageable, and I find it's easier to do without summons because you can just more focus on his attacks. It's very, shall we say, old school, where it's like dodge and attack and then attack yourself. But the only annoying thing is that he hits super hard. If you get hit by one combo, you're dead, and you basically have enough of a gap between attacks to either do a charge attack or heal, and sometimes you can't even get a full heal in. And he has that side swipe attack that people have talked about, where it's like a 1-2 slash, which seems very difficult to dodge perfectly. You need to be like exactly in the right for it. And so here we go, Miquella himself, he's finally appeared. There he is, the twink himself, right? And it's funny because I joked, oh, Radahn's the final boss. What is it going to be like, Miquella riding his back like it's the twin princes? And, oh god, that's exactly what it is, I called it. So Miquella's basically saying, hey, come on, man, just give up and hang out with us. It'll be great, right? Won't it be awesome? I'm still kind of in the debate, though, that perhaps maybe Godwin would have been a better fit for the final boss, because they were already trying to revive his soul at Castle Sol with the Eclipse, and that's not what we had. So here, I hated this, because you're supposed to open with the nuke attack, not hit me there and bait me into healing so that you can hit me with the nuke attack. God damn it. That's not fair. So, I always feel that like it was best to wait to use my summons until the second phase, right? And dodge the grab attack. The grab attack does no damage, but if you get hit twice by it without using Miquella's Great Rune, then you get your heart stolen, literally. So the thing is like, on paper the fight's not too bad because some of his attack swings, it's like the exact same swings as before, but now there's extra holy attacks added. But like, if your dodge timing is the same and you're dodging the same way, you should be able to dodge it. Now this was perfect RNG. We staggered him right as he was about to leave and do the meteor attack. And one more final attack, and boosh, I bunga, therefore I bunga. So again, at least the trick for me was to just go full strength, just overtune it all, use the heaviest weapon, and I switched my armor to the Solitude armor because it had better defense. I felt that with the Maliketh armor I was too squishy, and I was using some of the defense talismans, I think. I don't remember exactly. I think the two-handing talisman and the turtle talisman. And this is it, our final ending to it. Miquella talking about how he's going to be a god, and he's going to use his powers to seduce Radahn, who probably didn't want this at all. But that's basically it. We're wrapping up the DLC soon, so overall I thoroughly enjoyed Shadows of the Erdtree. Probably one of the best DLCs they've put out. My only complaints are, again, that some of the boss fights do exhibit that problem we had with the base game Elden Ring, and, you know, what do you know? Elden Ring was already Dark Souls on steroids, so now the Elden Ring DLC is Elden Ring on steroids, you know. But I'm looking forward to playing this more. We'll see what gets patched and updated in the coming days, because they can always get updated, you never know. But that's about that, and we get his crown. Yay. And then here's my final stats at the end. Again, I went all strength for the final boss. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good night.